G'day everyone, welcome to another episode of Footy Bites. We're going through round 7 tipping, here we go. Now, first up we've got Port Adelaide versus St Kilda. And personally I see the Saints getting over the power on this game Friday night. Honestly I just think that St Kilda's backline is much better. And the only games that Port has won was against the Eagles, Dogs and Swans, which have all been close games except for maybe the Eagles game, which is expected. And they've only won by very small margins, and the Saints just doing fantastic this year, so I've tipped them by 17 points. Next up we've got the Lions and the Dockers at the Gabba, Saturday Arvo. Now I think this one's pretty obvious, but I've gone with the Lions here for this one, because the Dockers have just been underperforming a lot this season. They don't have much structure to their game, and the Lions, mind you, have beaten the D's and the Pies at the Gabba this year, so I think they have a very strong home presence. Where the Dockers have only beat Suns and Eagles by a big margin, but Suns only 10 or so points. So I think this one gonna have to go to the Lions. Next up we've got the Swans and the Giants at the SCG. Now a bit of a dodgy one. I think I'm going to have to go with the Giants because of how much Sydney have been underperforming lately. And I feel like the Giants are just getting better. Mind you, it's a pretty risky tip. I'm not too confident in it. I just feel like there's a chance. So the Giants are going to get up, I think. Next up's Western Bulldogs versus Hawks. Going for Western Bulldogs with this game, not too much to say, but Hawthorn are getting, I think, real better with the clearances, and I'm a Crows man myself, so I was watching the game. They're getting way better with their pressure, so I actually wouldn't be surprised if Hawks could take this one home, but I'm going for the Doggies. Now we've got the Melbourne versus North Melbourne game on Saturday, and I've gone for Melbourne. I'd be pretty surprised if North Melbourne got on top here. But I think that Melbourne take this one home. Now we're heading over to Optus Stadium to see the Eagles host the Blues. I've gone with the Blues this time, but again, another game where I think it could be close and go down the wire because the Blues have been underperforming a lot. Don't really have much pressure with the Blues and haven't seen much of the Eagles this year, so I'm not too sure how they're going to be performing, but I think the safe option would be to go with the Blues. Now we've got Essendon versus Geelong, and honestly I've gone for another risky choice. Hopefully not too many risky decisions. I've chosen the Dons here. It's hosted at Marvel on Sunday at 1:10. Now I think that Essendon really improved. They've definitely improved out of sight. I feel like it will be a close game, and they have a chance to take it home if they have a good home crowd advantage. Richmond and Gold Coast Suns playing on Sunday at Marvel. Now, I've gone with the Tigers, but again, I feel like I'm saying this a lot this week, but lots of close games. I feel like this one could come down to the wire as well. Suns are a good team. I'm not sure how they'll perform without Touk Miller, but Richmond just have a long injury list and it wouldn't surprise me. Now lastly, we've got the Crows and the Pies at Adelaide Oval. Now as I said before, I go for the Crows. Went to gather round, exciting game, awesome atmosphere. And the tips to say Collingwood's going to take this one home, but I have a bit of pride in my team, and I hope the Crows can get us over the line, so I've tipped the Crows. I know I've chosen lots of risky decisions this week, but hopefully the reward is worth the risk. Cheers all for watching the video. I hope you're taking something away from it. Hopefully I'll be back next week, Wednesday, Thursday, to give my tips for then, and we'll see how I did this week. And if you want me to start sharing my fantasy team, or if you have any ideas or videos to help me out, I'd be glad to hear them. Now, hopefully it all goes well with my tips. Really cross my fingers on the Crows one. Hope we get it past the line to prove ourselves, but see you next time. Have a good weekend.